today we are talking about how life purpose shows up in our dreams. And
Absolutely.
I have as a guest you, Heather Driscoll. You are the life alignment expert. And this is going to be a fun conversation because I will be sharing some of my dreams and you will be interpreting them live
Yes.
in detail. And I guess both of our hopes are for the people watching and listening that this conversation will reawaken their own sense of life purpose, their own sense of life path. And they're not on it. We hope that they'll have an easier time getting back. Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
All right. So before we dive in, before I go into the dreams, let me just give everybody a little bit of background of the work that I do because it will be important for the dreams.
Yes.
So I have created something called the gentle trauma release method, and I look at it as a coaching method for the times we live in because it comes from the understanding that no matter what challenges people face, they will be much better equipped to face them and deal with them if we de-traumatize their system first. And the same for their dreams, goals, and aspirations. They will be in a much better place to achieve them if the trauma from their body is gone. Now, before I got here, I used to teach coaching in an international coaching school where I also met you. And this whole gentle trauma release method was born out of my frustration that whatever I learned, and I also have a psychology degree, I wasn't quite able to help people the way I wanted. The tools that I had were either not reliable enough or consistent enough so that I could count on them. And after years, I realized that, well, it's because the root of most people's problems is that something happened to them in the past and it's holding them back big time. And that's when I founded the Gentle Trauma Release Institute. Now, before I did that, I had a dream and you happen to have been in it. So I contacted you and I did not know that you had this unbelievable ability to interpret dreams. I mean, I knew you said that to me, but I had no idea the extent to which you had the ability to do that. And that's why you are the life alignment expert. You have this incredible talent, and I've watched you use this not just with me, but with other people as well, to very quickly assess where the person is at now, but also where they need to go or what their path is.
Yes, I do.
Yes. So I'll just dive right into the dream and
Sure.
let's see how many we can do. I'll start with this first one that brought me to.
Absolutely.
You live in the US, I live in Europe. And in that dream, I was visiting the part of the US where you live.
Mhm.
I happened to be on your farm on the day where you were renewing your vows with your husband. When I arrived at your place, you were wearing this amazing wedding dress, sleeveless, so I could see your arms, and your arms were really toned and you were really, really fit. And nobody was there. I think the celebrations were supposed to take place later on that day. Nobody was there, just you. And you said, well, I caught you in a good time because at least you can show me around. And so you did. You started by showing me the inside of the house. And I remember peeking from one of the windows, and outside I could see a group of very white chickens. And what was striking to me was how healthy and fit they looked. And so we went outside, and I realized there's many more of those incredibly beautiful, fit, strong chickens. They were all there, tens, hundreds even. And we were there standing looking at them. And for some reason, the thing I managed to say to you was, there must be a lot of poop. And you looked at me and said, well, I wouldn't know because I'm not the one taking care of them. And that was the dream. And that's when I reached out to you. So what did you make of it?
Well, there's a lot of different parts to the dream actually too. And as you're talking, I'm picking up because I'm remembering where we were at, but also wedding and renewing vows, any type of wedding and renewing vows in a dream is a recommitment or a commitment. Since this was renewing vows, this is a recommitment to yourself. And at that time that you were dreaming, you probably were not committed enough to where you were at in life and probably trying to make a decision about where do I need to go? What do I need to do? Where do I need to recommit myself? And the white is purity, right? So the chickens, the white, the color is purity. And where you're at, your consciousness, your thoughts, is you have the most pure heart. And I know you personally, so I know you do. So where you're thinking on a work level, because it felt like it was a work dream to me. Like this is a revision of where do I need to go? And I don't feel like I'm doing the work that I need to do. And the poop, anytime we talk about or dream about or think about it in a dream, that's the digestion. Like it's processing and digestion. So there's a lot of processing and trying to digest for you, like what is the next direction and where do I need to go and what I need to create and make. It could be huge because the chickens, the beautiful in shape chickens with white, pure white, represents what you're looking to build, what you really want to build, and it's multiplying. And you just see so many of them. So in essence, it's almost like a projection out of where you wanted to go with your next step in your business.
One of the things I remember you telling me at that time was that number one, the dreamer always dreams about themselves. So whatever is in the dream, especially if it's a person, that it's still some aspect of you. And it is true at the time, I wasn't sure how, if I would be able to pull off the, building of a new school or how to handle the whole business side of things. And at that time, you for me was that my pure flesh and blood proof that women can be powerful and they can handle business with grace and generosity and money. You were, for me, the example of that. So I think in the dream, I was coming to you for advice or to that aspect of me that was like you. So that's one thing. Then I also remember what stood out to me is that the sentence you said was, I wouldn't know because I'm not the one taking care of them. That implied that I should be taking care of those chickens.
Mm-hmm.
And you also said that the chickens represented the students who were loyal enough that they would follow me into
Absolutely.
my new endeavor.
Absolutely.
And I cannot tell you how much inspiration that gave me. When I had that dream and you interpreted that, I was still in a position where I knew that I wanted to build the Gentle Trauma Release Institute and a school that would give to the people who want to help others, coaches, healers, enough and anything they need to be able to do this work. But at that time, I was nowhere near thinking that this would happen in a month or two. The dream and your interpretation made it happen so that I did end up opening it about a month after that dream.
Absolutely. Yeah. And you're right. The dream, and I think this is hard for some people to understand. I think dreams in general are hard for people to understand because, a lot of people are of the mind that dreams, it's just a dream. I mean, how many times have you heard like, oh, don't worry about that. It's just a dream. But the dreams are actually representing the subconscious and where the shadow side of the human is residing. It's the stuff the stuff that's conscious to us in our waking life, we're aware of, things we need to work on, what we need to do. But the stuff that comes up as the shadow, and that when I say shadow, I mean things we don't want to look at, things that are buried in our subconscious that when we think about, we kind of resist. the emotions that come with it. We resist it and push it down. Well, when we sleep, and the REM state, that is the time when our bodies start to process energetically everything that's within the whole body. And the stuff that is sitting in the subconscious that we may not want to deal with, the dreams speak in symbols to us. So there are symbols that the dreamer will associate symbols in the dream, like I had a car, or this was my house, or chickens, all these white chickens, and a wedding or a renewal of vows, where it's speaking in symbols to you, where then when you start to look at it and you can dissect, like what are you in a place where you want to renew, and what are you maybe worried about? If you create this, will you have people that jump on board and follow? And will it be successful? Or is this a waste of time? It's like all of those thoughts that we start to doubt and we, get worried about, we push down, they'll come up. And when we dream, every aspect of the dream is about the dreamer. So even people in the dream, like me in your dream, I am a symbol for you of something that I represent in your life. So you would look at a specific quality about me and you would say, okay, this is the quality when I think about Heather or look at Heather, these are the qualities that I'm thinking about. And that is what is a direct link to you, that you have those qualities. You are that already. It's just reminding you, like this person, that.
Yeah, that reminds me of something that I saw on your website. Let me just I just copied it in here. And you have a banner there that says, I see you. I see your potential and the limitless possibility of your life. And that's exactly what you gave me. Thank you through that
Yeah,
dream.
you're welcome.
And then you nailed it with, I remember we were exchanging Facebook messages about this. And then you said, well, that dream was just, you gave yourself a gentle kick in the butt. And for some reason, that sentence was like, yeah, I gotta get going with this.
Yeah. Don't be afraid to do it, because it's going to be successful. And the dream was giving you that message, where it's that subconscious part of you that maybe a little bit of fear on the conscious level, where we can talk ourselves out of things very easily and we get, imposter syndrome or whatever. The subconscious part of you knows how powerful you are. And so with that power that's within you, you may have forgotten about on a conscious level, and subconsciously you're being reminded, like, this is the path you're supposed to be on. Don't stop. This is where you're supposed to be.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. So speaking of power, I had another dream, which happened this summer. So the end of June, and I have to go to my notes for it. I found it in my journal. I had a dream this night, a dream about a black panther that kept following me in the house, as if it wanted to be my pet. I was supposed to hold the virtual office hours with my students. That's a live call that I do with students every week. But I had to postpone the beginning and couldn't log in because the Black Panther just wanted to be with me and really near me, almost as if it wanted to keep so close to me that his body would touch mine. I kept resisting its desire for proximity because, well, his presence could be lethal. It's a panther. At one point, I decided that I would escape from the window of the house into the garden so I could hold the virtual office hours in the garden. And I was hoping that the panther would stay inside. So I tried to climb from the window on the first floor. And when I climbed around the corner, I realized that this is way too high for me and that I wouldn't be able to jump off. So I thought, okay, let me return back to the window that I came from. And as I was climbing, I realized that I had an incredible ease in climbing. My body was still my body. I remember looking at my hands in that dream and my legs. It was still a human body. But I remember realizing I must be the panther because I shouldn't be able to climb the walls in this way. And I just realized in that dream that for now I was in the human form, but really it was the panther. And the dream, it just says like, it felt like the dream was going on for a long time with the panther just following me everywhere, wanting to be with me.
So that for you, that dream for you. So the panther, a cat, so a large cat, but cats in general represent femininity, represent power, represent psychic ability. And the fact that it's a panther and that it's following you everywhere, for me, tells me that there is a part of you that is, because you don't want the panther close to you in proximity, but I feel like it's a she. Like I feel like she's trying to embody her femininity and power at the same time, where you might be experiencing, I don't know how to create and embody the part of myself that needs to have power without having the force behind it. I don't want to be mean. If I need to use my voice, I want to be able to command the respect and the power and tell people where I'm coming from without hurting them, without being mean, and the representation of the panther trying to follow you and be with you, be close to you, to me is an embodiment of you trying to stand in your power and having a bit of a fear about standing in that power and the strength that it has behind it. Because if you have that power, with one swipe of a panther's claw, they could kill you. And so that representation of the swipe with the claw, with, if I step into my power, I could kill someone with my words. And I don't ever want to do that. So it's a fear of stepping into your power. And the climbing down coming down the spout is stepping down deep into the subconscious, because in dreams, we go in levels. And so we start at the subconscious, the root, the ground. We start at the subconscious, then move to the conscious level where we are in the third dimensional reality. And then we go up to the consciousness level of spirit, connectivity, receptivity, where our downloads and information come in. So as you're climbing in a dream, it's telling you which area you're going into. So you're climbing down, going deep into the depths of your subconscious and really trying to embody this part of you that is there and wants to come in and be a part of you. And the fact that as you're climbing down, you have the thought, what if I am the panther? What? Because it was so easy, is literally you recognizing subconsciously that you have the power innately already in you, and you have the ability already within you to speak your truth and speak it in love and not hurt anyone. It's the recognition of I can be the panther. Because panthers, right? The cats, what do? They curl up with you and they purr, and they could be beautiful, but like one swipe. So the power that's behind them is incredible. And so that's exactly representing you. The power that you have within you is incredible. And embodying that part of you and connecting into that part of you is only going to take you forward faster and allow more people to step in and hear you, because it will come across as an authority with gentleness and
Authority
peace.
with gentleness. Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. And how do you interpret the fact that the virtual office hours were supposed to take place and I had to postpone them. So that's why I brought it up here in this conversation that had to do with life purpose, but because I feel it has to do with my work. So I thought to myself, okay, Panther's in the house. Let me hold the virtual office hours in the garden where the Panther is not.
Yeah, and the garden is a place of peace too. And that is literally you stepping into your power in work and stepping into your position of authority. And, obviously this work is what you're meant to do. You dream a lot about it. This work is what you're meant to do. And it's that confidence and the ability that what I say is not going to hurt people. What I say is meant with only true intentions and kindness and love. And I am here to help people. And that embodiment is who you are. And that's what is attracting your students to you. And it's
now that you speak of it, yes, so that's often my concern, because in our line of work, there are teachers that don't use the power for the highest good of the student. The student is in a very vulnerable position when they open themselves up to a teacher. So it's, always on my mind, how do I speak without ripping somebody apart? And as you're talking about this, I was going into the virtual office hours. I wanted to leave the panther behind so that I wouldn't rip.
I don't want to rip them apart. I would like to leave the panther, the nice kitty, behind. I don't want to rip anybody apart. But your dream is telling you that you already have that within you. She's already within you. The panther's already within you. You just need to embody that part with who you already are. And that is the beautiful interaction that makes you you. Because people need teachers like you. I need a teacher like you. You're amazing. And that power and authority that you can bring in to your students and to your school is so powerful. That's what I feel like a lot of people are missing, because your intentions behind it are so pure. That is what sets you apart and makes you different from other teachers.
Your interpretations are so reassuring to me, because in this line of work, not just trauma release, but coaching in general, when you think of it, a human being comes to you and they open their heart to you. They let you see the most intimate places of their soul. And I am always thinking of how to help them without crushing their soul, without, if we think of the black panther. Yeah, it's the panther, but also the snake, how to heal them without them being consumed in the process. And so this is reassuring to me, your interpretation.
Absolutely. What you're teaching, you're embodying. And that saying, we teach what we need to learn the most. And when we teach it, we embody it. And once you embody it, that becomes knowledge and wisdom. That's where it sits inside of us. And that's when we become what we're teaching. It's not we're just teaching what we've learned. You have become the master. And that's what's happening.
It's about walking one's path, and that's your specialty.
Absolutely. Yes. Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
And
I do.
I had the gift of having these dreams that I could tell you, and you interpreted them for me. But what if somebody doesn't have them? Or what if they do have? How do they even know that a dream has to do with their life purpose?
Well, a dream always has to do with something that is a part of their life, whether it's a lot of people, like some of my clients, have nightmares, and we'll discuss that later with trauma and nightmares and all that stuff. But and the way I work when I work with my clients, because I do have clients that say, oh, I don't dream. Everyone dreams. Everyone dreams. Studies have been done. If you don't dream, you'll go crazy. You just don't remember your dreams. And we have like 5 to 6 dreams a night in the REM state. So you are dreaming, you're just not remembering. And there are tools that I work with some of my clients to start to be able to remember their dreams. So there's things and intentions they can set before they go to bed, and ways that they can just like have a pen and a journal and jot down even one thing that is a symbol that they remember from the dream. But so it's a lot of times with my clients, they don't remember dreams. And then when we start doing work together and start digging deeper into the subconscious, because a lot of times what happens, it's not only dreams with me. When I work with my clients, I have this intuitive ability to read the energy of where they are subconsciously. And so sometimes that's so deep, they don't even know where they are. And they'll think that they came to me to work with me for a specific reason. And like, I'm fighting with my husband and it's not working and I'm not happy where I'm at in my life. But really, when I meet them and read the energy, subconsciously, it's an issue that they've had when they were little, that it never was even, the work wasn't even done on it, and it's being carried over into a relationship. And as I start doing that like intuitive work with them, a lot of them will just start dreaming and they'll be like, oh my gosh, I had this weird dream last night, because the energy of starting to do the emotional work and release trapped emotions that they have been burying and pushing down makes space and opens energy in the body. And once you start to open the energy in the body and make space, it allows the space for the dreams to come in and you to remember them. If we're holding energy in the body and we shut down, when traumas happen or when life happens or when we lose our way and we don't know our life purpose, we shut down emotions in the body and we trap them. And once we do that, it's hard for people to remember their dreams because they just want to go to bed. Like they just want to shut down. And the more work we start to do by tapping into their subconscious and looking at the real issues, the root cause of the problem, then all of a sudden it starts moving emotions, and then all of a sudden they'll start dreaming and they'll use techniques. So I have a client that I worked with. I had shared this dream with you. She had a dream that she was trapped in a house and there was doors. She was in this room and there were doors all the way around the house. And every door that she would walk to, she would try to open and the door wouldn't open. And she'd go to the next one and the door wouldn't open. And to me, like as soon as I started hearing the dream, with what happens where I can, and I don't know how to explain how I do it, but it's kind of like energetically, I read the energy, and it's kind of like for me, remembering a dream. When you remember your dream, you see it in your mind's eye and you can watch it like a movie on a screen. And so that's what starts to happen to me. So I can watch a movie on a screen as you're telling me the dream, and I can see, oh, this is directly linked to this part of her emotional, well-being, and she's a little insecure. Well, this woman, I was immediately like, oh boy, like there's a lot of trauma in her childhood. Immediately it started popping up, and I could see images of some of her childhood, and I could see that she was hitting a point in her life where she was starting to be willing to do the work emotionally, but she was terrified to do it. So as this started coming up, like I said, once you start to tap into the emotions and move the energy, stuff comes up and out. So as this started happening for her subconsciously, she was trying to open all the doors, which would free her from this room, which would free her emotionally. But she was so scared that it's like she had set up all these doors around her, and that it was time to start to make the steps that she needed to make in order to heal her trauma and bring them out. But every door she went to, it was just locked. And so it was telling me that she was really locked down with the emotional trauma that she had from when she was young. So, and she confirmed that. I mean, it was one of those like, yeah. So the next step is, okay, how do we do it?
So the dreams give us a message, but then there's still the following up.
Exactly. Yeah, the following up and the work is the hard part. Getting the messages from the dreams, that's all right. That's good. But once you get the information, it's like, what do you do with the information? You tend to have dreams where you're still working and processing in your dreams. It's like you're just working stuff out in your dreams because your dreams are extremely detailed. You have symbology of animals a lot in your dreams, which means that you're really connected to your true animal nature, which is we're animals. We're humans, but humans are animals, and you're really connected in with nature. You're connected in with your animal self, and you're doing the work all the time. You're doing the work. So, for your students to come to you, it's watching this is going to be the best thing for them, because they're going to really know, like, the professor is doing the work. Because there's nothing worse, really. Like, there's nothing worse than finding someone who you like, but then they're inauthentic. And that you find out that, they're not really doing the work. They're preaching, but they're not doing the work. And it's kind of feels like a betrayal to people. So, you're doing the work. You're not only doing the work in your waking, you're doing the work in your sleep too. Do you ever rest?
Yeah. Thank you for saying that. And of course, you are on your way to becoming a certified gentle trauma risk practitioner yourself. You are already equipped to doing what you call the hard part. There's the messages, and then there's the work with your clients. So if trauma shows up for them, you would know what to do with it. You know how to help everybody if they have different obstacles towards their own path. And you are the life alignment expert. So if somebody did need help a little bit, they don't know how to interpret their dreams, or they don't quite know what their path is or how to realign themselves with it, where would they find you?
They can go to my website, lifealignmentexpert.com. So www.lifealignmentexpert.com. They can find me on social media. So Instagram is at lifealignmentexpert.com, and Facebook is Heather Driscoll. And you can check me out there. Get in touch with me there.
This morning when I was preparing breakfast for my daughter, she showed me on her phone a picture of a baby elephant, as if it was really a small elephant, a very cute one. I'm like, is this a real one? And then I remembered that this night I was dreaming of elephants, which I wouldn't have if she didn't show it to me. It was just so funny. I have to tell you. We have a forest here nearby.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
it was that kind of terrain, that kind of forest. So elephants normally don't live there. And I think I was in a car, probably with Daniel, but it was like a fun ride through nature.
Like a carnival
And
ride for nature.
it was more like when you go to a safari, and the terrain is bumpy, and people
Yeah.
take it as, that's fun because it's so bumpy and it's a natural terrain. And at one point I said to Daniel, look, there's an elephant coming from the right side, like from a hill covered with trees. And as it was coming down, I could also see that it had two baby elephants, one on each side.
Wow. So elephants represent number one, like karma. Like, because elephants don't forget. That how they say about elephants, where it's like they just don't forget about anything. And they also represent power. And two babies, whenever there's a dream about a baby, whether it's a baby animal or baby human, doesn't matter. It's something new is being birthed in. So the emphasis on two with power, and almost feels like karma for you is coming back around, like what you've done in the past, whether it be past life, whether you believe in that, it's coming back in a good way for you. And you're gaining power and momentum. And the two babies are representing of the expansion and growth that you're going to have.
I cannot believe how accurate you always are. That's exactly how I feel, and it's been a development of the last couple of days. And also, the elephant to me is such a great symbol for the gentle trauma release method, because when I think of it as an animal, it's gentle, but it's so very powerful. So
huge. It's an amazing dream.
and also, if your path, not your Heather, but the people listening, because you're already on it. If you feel like you want to help others, and you feel like the trauma release bit is something that you've been missing, please do check us out at gentletraumarelease.com. We'll be looking forward to welcome you into the training.
It's an amazing program. You guys got to do it. It's amazing.